98 Knight. This is the P90 submachine gun. This one comes with the deluxe edition of the game, so you do need to have that in order to get this one. If you don't have that, then you're just going to have to purchase it. This is like the only gun that you actually have to buy with real money, I would say. All the other weapons in the game you can just earn from getting the war bonds and playing the game normally. This is the one exception to that. And the submachine gun is actually pretty good. For an overall rating for the Knight, I would say this one's A tier across the board because it's generally pretty good against everything, especially once you have attachments to it. If you don't have the attachments, it can be a little bit difficult to control, since this one does have a really high rate of fire. It has a 1300 rate of fire, almost 1400 rate of fire. That is pretty high. This is one-handed, this has light armor pen, does 70 damage a shot, holds 50 rounds by default, although this can have extended mags on it, and it doesn't bounce around too much, but it does have a decent amount of muzzle climb, at least to start out with. Against the bugs, this one is really good for killing all the small bugs very quickly, and it can kill the medium bugs pretty fast as well. You do need to be aiming for weak spots with this, especially towards the bigger bugs, and it's really not the best for that. Something like special weapon would be a whole lot better, but for the crowd control, this one is pretty good. Against bots, this one's actually pretty good too. Once you put some attachments on it, it's very accurate, so it's really easy to hit headshots with this. It's not great at super long range because you can't put a crazy scope on this or anything. It's not going to be as good as like the DMRs generally are, but it's still actually pretty good, and it pairs really well with the ballistic shield if you want to use that. Yeah, if you're fighting medium bots with that, you're going to win like pretty much every single fight, so that's really cool, at least until you run out of bullets. That is kind of another problem with this one. And then against the squids, this one is also pretty good. It can't really do anything towards harvesters, but you can spray down pretty much everything else. This does really well against the voteless hordes. It does actually really well against the flesh mobs too. Against overseers, it's fine as well. Like medium armor pen is a little bit better against them, but for the most part, this one is perfectly fine. For customizations, you have quite a lot with the P90. For optics, I like going with the reflex sight. You could go with whatever sight you like though. The 1.5 times tube you can get really early on, so that's really nice. I personally like the reflex on this though if I'm going to be ADSing with it. For an underbarrel, I would recommend the vertical foregrip. That cuts down on the muzzle climb a lot, and it makes it really easy to hold this on target. That is a really big improvement. You could also go with the flashlight vertical grip if you were okay with sparing a little bit of the ergonomics, but you still wanted the flashlight on there. For the muzzle attachment, I really like the flash hider, but the compensator is also really good. Depends on which you like. And then I do really like the extended mag on this. That takes you from 50 rounds to 70 rounds. You have less magazines overall. You have 5 with this, but that's fine, especially if you want to be running like siege ready armor, then you still get more magazines for it. And there are times where those 70 rounds do make a difference, especially with this thing having like almost 1400 rate of fire. You can run through ammo pretty quickly with it. Overall, I really enjoy the Knight. It's probably one of my favorite submachine guns.